Hi, and welcome back to my channel and my tree series. This is tree number 3. It's a white sea glass made over a silicone sheet covered styrofoam tree. So I used a sheet of silicone and cut it in the shape that it would need to be to wrap around my styrofoam tree. I used staplers and I used some copper, because I just happen to have copper, wire pieces to kind of like staple it together temporarily, and wrapped it around to a cone shape and put it over my styrofoam form. At the base is a hoop that I have wrapped in copper foil. You don't have to use the black backed copper foil because obviously you can't see through it. So any copper foil would be usable. That's actually a hoop made out of plastic, which I just happened to have, and it was the right size. And after wrapping it in the foil, I could use it. So that's another option. You don't have to use a metal hoop for these projects. As long as you wrap it in the copper foil, it insulates it enough that it didn't melt. So I guess if you heat it up a lot, it might melt. But anyways, above it is I'm attaching white tumbled sea glass. Now I have other videos on sea glass. This is not actually natural sea glass. This is bought sea glass that I tumbled some more, so they were really smooth little pieces. And then I foiled them. I used, I think it was like a third of a strip of the 7/32 inch copper foil. I liked, and it was black back because obviously you can see through it a little bit. I like to use the 7/32 as a start and then cut it lengthwise to make it narrower for when I need to. And actually the crystals that I'm putting on, I actually wrapped in a quarter the width of the natural foil because I only wanted to have just the edge of these pieces of glass foiled so that you could see the whole object. Now, of course, as I said in my other videos, the danger with doing this, with only wrapping it, just on the edge, even though I burnish them down really hard so that they're really stuck onto the glass, if you heat up the foil too much when you are soldering, your piece of glass will just hop out. So then you'll have to fix that. So you don't want to heat it up too much. And I keep the same temperature, I think around 450 on my solder iron. I just don't touch them a lot. As you can see on this video right now, I am touching up the outside, and I went and touched up the inside also. I am filling every single little air hole on this particular tree. Some of the other trees I've done, I've left spaces between the glass that I'm using, but for this particular one, I wanted all the holes between the pieces of glass to be filled. So I have to fill them with another piece of glass, with solder, or sometimes I put a larger piece of foil and then put solder over the foil. So I want it to be so that the light only shines through the glass. Now I have lots of different pieces of crystals in different colors, but these happen to be the clear ones and the AB ones that I have already foiled. So I have them at my disposal for when I'm making different projects. I bent a star shape out of 16 gauge bare copper wire, and now I'm soldering various crystals to it for my star topper. Now the nice thing, of course, about having a whole bunch of different crystals already soldered is you can try different ones to see which ones will fit your project the best. And these crystals, of course, are just barely foiled, just on the edge. So I have to extra careful when I'm soldering that I'm only adding as much heat as I need to. So what I'm doing is I'm adding the heat to the wire first, and then after the wire is already heated up, then I make the solder connection. So you don't want to add the heat to the individual crystal first and get that really hot. It's better to heat up the wire because the copper wire is more robust and it can deal with quite a lot of heat. It's not going to start falling apart. So that's why I put most of the heat directly onto the wire itself. So right now I'm going around, I'm making sure that everything's going to be covered with the solder, and because I want that silver look when I'm done, and I'm going to add more of these crystals. Now these tear-shaped ones I'm adding right now, they are AB, which is, they also called Aurora Borealis crystals. They have a coating on them, making them kind of glimmer in a little bit different colors, not just a clear rainbow effect. They'll also, even if the light's not shining on them, they will look pretty and kind of colorful. So they're just a little bit different look than the middle crystal, which is just a clear crystal. So you can mix and match them. You can make a project that's all AB or all clear, you know, whatever you want to do. So right now I'm working on the star again. I'm lining up the teardropped ones to have them pointed toward the center of the middle crystal. You can see I'm wearing gloves. These are actually silicone gloves that you can get. I don't think they're made for this, but they're really handy because they help dissipate any solder splashes that you get on you. Also keeps your hands clean, but they do dissipate the heat a little bit, so you won't get burned, you know, quite as much if you happen to get a little bit of solder on you. After attaching my star, I needed to fill in any gaps that are left over at the top of the tree. And I happen to have this little one that worked just fine. When I tumble these glass, sea glass pieces, you know, you get a whole bunch of different shapes. And just like the crystals, I like to foil a whole bunch of them and just have them at my disposal so that when I need to fill in a gap like this particular time, I have pieces that are, you know, a good size and shape for what I need. I also have videos on how to remove the backing that you sometimes get when you buy your crystals. And some of these crystals I used in this project were crystals that were backed with a foil. And so I had to put them in chemicals to remove the foil so that I could use the crystals in stained glass work. Obviously, I try to source out crystals that do not have backing on them for my projects, but sometimes it's hard to find, or you get a really good deal on a foiled back crystal and you can't help yourself, so you buy those and then you're like, yeah, now I have to get the foil off of them. So this is the end effect of my tree after it's lit up. It's very pretty. It's just a little small tree, and underneath I have just taken a bunch of fairy lights and put them on the inside, and you can see that because the glass is kind of cloudy, it gives a nice look. You can't actually see the individual fairy lights. It's just like a glow, and those lights were kind of a warm white color, and it's giving kind of a yellowish hue to when it was finished. So this is number 3 of my tree series, and I will have more trees to show you. Please continue watching my videos so you can see all my Christmas trees of this series. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.